Hi guys, welcome back to my page. On this week's topic, I wanted to discuss a term that's very commonly used in narcissistic abusive relationships. And I feel like the term has been thrown around, especially recently, a lot. And I feel like a lot of us have experienced it or are going through it and are completely unaware of what this is and what it really stands for. And the term is love bombing. Now, I know this term's been used many times and people perceive it as, oh, when someone's just giving you endless amounts of love and it's all wonderful. But really, love bombing just emphasizes how distorted our perception of love and relationships is. And that's mainly down to just watching rom-coms and romantic comedies and fairy tales growing up. Because the beginning of love bombing may seem wonderful and may seem like you've met Mr. Right, Miss Right, the perfect person, perfect match for you. But it has a lot of red flags and a lot of toxic traits that could go amiss because you're so blinded by the grandiose that this narcissist is showing you. Now, if you haven't been to my page before, please do subscribe. Please comment and like on this video. I talk about general mental health and well-being, as well as day-to-day issues and just personal development. Now, love bombing, like I said, is a term that's very commonly used, and that's because this partner or new person that you meet is literally showing you the time of your life right from the get-go. And there are certain terms that are strongly associated with the term love bombing, which is we had an incredible time, amazing relationship, very intense, passionate, exciting, we've moved very fast, and it's sort of concealed by all the things that you've been waiting for or actually believe love to be. So when it's happening to you, you actually feel like this is what I've been waiting for my whole life. This is amazing. I have the most attentive partner. And usually love bombing consists of loads of lavishness. Because with narcissism, we're aware of a lot of grandiose behavior, gestures, gifts, because it's just a narcissist's way of showcasing how amazing they are. And the courting period and the dating period also falls under them showing their grandness. And so that's why the love bombing phase, when you first meet a narcissist and they're trying to get you to be with them, is usually very grand. Because that's just an extension of the character of the narcissist. So it could be like amazing trips and holidays, amazing restaurants and spots to be, huge bouquets sent to you at work, gifts, dinners, just being on the scene. And it almost provokes sort of envy amongst your peers and your friends and your family, because they're now comparing their sort of normal, healthy, mediocre relationships to this fairy tale that's unfolding in front of you. And so everybody's very happy for you and you think, this is it, I've met the one. However, when you know that there is more to it and things are not that genuine and things don't feel right for you, then you usually feel it in your gut, and the energy and the red flags are there. They're concealed, they're very well hidden, but there are things that are not sitting right with you. But when you start questioning yourself, this is what happens in most toxic relationships that practice love bombing. You start gaslighting yourself because you're like, I don't deserve this. This is why nothing ever works out for me. When I meet someone who's so amazing and who's so nice, I question it. Why are they not enough? What am I doing wrong? Why am I like looking for things, like looking for a needle in a haystack, looking for things to go wrong? And when you start telling your friends as well, they start gaslighting you and questioning you, like, you always do this. This is what you've been waiting for. This is what we all want from our partners. And now that it's happening, you're questioning it, you're not happy. What's wrong with you? So you start ignoring those red flags and you go with it because you think, this is what I've wanted, and this partner of mine is giving me time, affection, attention, gifts. Great, amazing. So maybe I should stop questioning why it's too good to be true and just let go. And this is where the narcissist then has it their way. The reason they need to do this so grandly, in such a grandiose way, is because narcissism, as we know, boils down to severe insecurity in themselves. So they project that. Now, in the courting phase as well, there are a number of reasons why narcissists do the love bombing technique. One is because it conceals their insecurity, because they're putting out such a grand show of everything that you don't actually get to see the real person because you're blinded by the fairy tale. So that's the only way they know how, because that's the only way they practice expressing themselves, by concealing what really is and showing you what could be, selling you the dream. The second reason is that it's also about that win-win-win mindset for them. A narcissist is very sort of, they want to win it, they want to achieve it, that's what makes them feel good, that's what gives them the narcissistic supply, they feel worthy, so they need to win it over. So when they're doing these grand gestures for you, that also makes them feel like they've won their prize when they do get you. And thirdly, is because they're extremely scared of rejection. So in order to avoid rejection, the best way to win you over and blind you is by displaying this enormous love, affection, literally love bomb you, suffocate you with all sorts of things that they could possibly do to sell you the dream and to make it seem of how it could be. This is what you're missing out on. But the problem is that this cycle is very short-lived. In most cases, it's about 3 to 12 weeks at most. After that, also the honeymoon period. Once that's settled and the narcissist knows that you've let your guard down and you're starting to believe this manipulation that they're giving you, then they switch. Their tone changes, their vibe changes, their energy changes, everything about them changes, the way they speak to you, the way they treat you. When you first started speaking to this narcissist, they were texting you good morning, good night, throughout the day, where are you going, what are you doing, what are you wearing, what are you eating. And you loved the attention. It's like your partner wanted to be with you at all times. So when the dust settles, you let your guard down and you start believing the narcissist, that's when their pattern changes. So they know they have you and they're over it. So that's replaced with contempt, that's replaced with disregard, and finally discard. They don't need you anymore. So they start highlighting your insecurities, they start putting you down. It's done in a very snidey way. Once where they were compliments and affection and love notes and voice notes or whatever that it was, is now replaced by snidey comments to bring you down, to bring questioning you, pointing out all your insecurities, highlighting things that you may not necessarily be good at. And it's left you feeling very, very confused and baffled. The problem here is that you kind of are aware that something is wrong and whatever, but what most people tend to do, and there are people that I've met that have held on for 5-6 years, is that they hold on to that initial stage of love bombing, to that person. And it's like, oh, but we were like that, so we could go back to that. This is what we were, we have the potential of being, and you'll go back to what it used to be. If I start working hard enough, this is my fault, because the narcissist is very good at manipulating and making you believe that you're at fault here, this is like gaslighting you, or that this is your problem. So you start self-doubting, your confidence is affected, you start working on yourself and trying to make yourself better and cater to the narcissist. bingo, they have what they want because they're getting their unlimited narcissistic supply from you, because it's now their way and what they want and how the relationship goes, everything. They've got you in the palm of their hands. And you are left confused and baffled as to what went wrong and what changed. And so you're trying everything you possibly can to bring it back to that initial stage and to what it was. This is where the pattern begins. If you then realize that it's not you, no matter what you're doing, you're still getting the same contempt back, and you start distancing yourself, then the narcissist realizes that they're really losing control again. So they practice and bring back a snippet, a taster of the love bombing back, just to remind you that no, we could be like this, but it's your fault. You've messed up, and this is why we are where we are. And so the pattern of up and down, of make-up, break-up, of you feeling the need to distance yourself every so often just so you could get that taster back because you think that's normal, is what ends up sucking you into trauma-bonded relationships rather than very healthy, happy, organically growing relationships. Because like I said, one, we're brainwashed and made out to feel like that's how relationships should be. So when someone's giving us this immense, unlimited, almost suffocating, intense, all in at the start kind of love, we feel like this is what it should be. But that's not normal, nor is it healthy. And most times it's a manipulation technique to get you there as quick as possible, to get you to where they want you to. So you could feel like you're needing to fix the relationship and continuously give them the narcissistic supply that they need to live off. So you then, when the relationship's quite slow and is dating and it's not so intense, you find it a little bit dubious and you find it a little bit boring and you think this isn't how love should be. But give it a go and you'll see that there isn't you getting put on a pedestal and then being pushed really hard where you fall and break into 1,000 pieces, because that's what narcissists do. That's what love bombing is putting you on a pedestal, making you feel on top of the world, and at the same time setting up your downfall nicely so the impact is that much more, so that it breaks you that much more. And that's why every time you pull away from a toxic relationship or a narcissist, they come running back, showing you love and affection and what they're potentially capable of. But remember that that's not them showing you what they're capable of. That's them just luring you in to get you back so that they can break you. And that's how, unfortunately, the pattern goes. So the sooner you're aware of it, the more you come conscious of this, the more you see the pattern, the more when you start dating someone, they are overwhelming you with love and affection, and yet you don't feel at ease. You feel like something is not right. You feel like this is unnatural or it's too good to be true. Then most likely it's because it is. It's not healthy. It's not normal. And they're doing it to manipulate you and not really showing you their authentic selves. And when it starts to be when they start pointing out all your insecurities, that's when it's like, aha, I know what you're doing, and I'm not having it. So like I said, the sooner you're aware of this, the sooner you could get yourself out and save yourself a lot of heartache, headache, psychological trauma, emotional trauma, and just like a peace of mind. Now, if you look at the grand scheme of things, it's kind of sad, and you do feel sorry for the narcissist in certain instances, that they're so insecure that they really don't know how to love themselves, how to love other people, and they feel the need to put out these grand gestures and grand show of things like a peacock, show all their feathers to win you over and court you because they know that they're not good enough or they feel really not good enough. But I assure you that with this personality disorder, with narcissism, you could kill yourself for the narcissist, and soon enough they will look at you as stale narcissistic supply and they'll be bored of you. You are in no position to pour yourself into this person and hope that they will start illuminating love and happiness and sunlight. It's not. There's a lot of issues within that person. They don't even see what they're doing wrong. So no matter how much you sacrifice and try and love them into coming out of narcissism, it just won't happen. It doesn't happen. It doesn't work like that. It's a personality disorder, and so they have something that they need to address and look into. And love, unfortunately, isn't something that could fix that. So instead of trying to sacrifice your role for this one person, save yourself the headache, see the signs, see the red flags, see the patterns, take it for what it is, and move on and leave. You will save yourself a lot of heartache and headache. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I thank you so much for watching. Please do share your experiences with us in the comments below. Do subscribe to my page and like and comment on this video. And I'll see you guys again here next week. Thanks for watching. Mwah.